Good morning. Good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I've got a couple of projects using a technique I saw somebody post on Facebook, and I went back this morning to try to figure out who it was to give him credit, and I can't find the post. So I will keep looking today and hopefully get it up on my blog post tomorrow morning about this. Yeah, let's get started. If you're joining me, please say hello so I know you're here, and ask questions as we go, and we will see what we do. Let me show you the one card I did already with this technique, and I'm actually very happy with how this turned out. Oops, that's from another thing that I'm working on. I just got this, what is it, Artistry Blooms DSP in the sale in October, and this is my first time cutting into it, and I like the ombre. I resisted buying it, and then when it went on sale, I bought it because of the ombre side, not the really loud, weird polka dotty sides. But so the technique I'm showing today is we're doing some stamping onto fluid 100 watercolor paper that we carry in jet black StazOn, and then we're adding some watercolor pencil and water to it. So this one I let dry overnight. Today we're going to try drying off a bit with the heat tool and see how that goes. And if it works well, we'll finish cards, and otherwise I'll let it dry and show the cards on the blog. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to do another version of the one I just showed you. So I have my Stamparatus set up, and I've decided that with the StazOn and watercolor paper, that is actually almost any time I stamp with watercolor paper, I like to use my Stamparatus because the paper has so much more texture that sometimes it's really hard to get a good impression in one go. And somehow with the StazOn, that's doubly true. So, sometimes. Maybe, I did re-ink my pad since I first tried it, so we might do quite well. But I also like it with things like this set, which is Jar of Flowers, because it allows me to get perfect alignment between the two images. So yeah, see, that kind of is not as solid as I would like. Hello Gladys, hello Paula. So with the Stamparatus, if everything has stayed in place, you can just go right over it as many times as we need. Oh, see, and that shifted just a little bit. So we're going to turn over and try again. Not a good advertisement for my Stamparatus there. That's pretty good in and of itself. I may call it quits right there. And then I have each of the images on their own panel, just to make it easy without having to flip over or anything. So I will ink up the flowers. And let me show you this as well. image. It's right in the middle that it seems to have a little bit of trouble. Let's see here if we can get that right in the middle. Let's see if we've shifted this too much. I'm going to stand up to get a little more pressure right there in the middle. There we go. Okay, so now I can set this aside. And this is the jar of flowers. This is my class ready kit. This is one they did for demonstrators. But it's got these 4, can't talk today, these 4 floral images, and I used this one, and 2 different sizes of jars. The class ready kit just has an extra set of jars and straws because you can use the reverse side. So, ooh, maybe we should add the stems. I didn't think about that. That would be pretty cool. Let's get that lined up really fast. You can see how that works because I got it stamped on this bottom grid sheet. I can see exactly where it's going to need to go. I own 3 of these because when I do classes, it's nice to be able to have multiple set up sometimes for different projects. So I have lots of these plates. So I'm just going to try to make it easy on myself there. Really, the magnets are a help. Really, they are. Okay, let's put that there. I don't know if you can see, I've outlined where I want my cardstock to be. So I can just place it perfectly each time. Let's see how this goes. Boop. Yep, happy with that. Okay. Oh, I can stay on there. Okay, so now here we have my image. And Stampin' Up! Has 2 sets of watercolor pencils. And I've combined them both into this one box. So I can't tell you which colors are from which set, but they're both affordable. So if you don't own them, just buy them because they're really good. And then I bought a really nice pencil sharpener. I'm not quite sure where that one came from, but this one I know works really, really well. And I bought that from an art supply store or Michael's or something, you know, where they have the artist pencils. So that one's not labeled. That's in a log. So what we're doing is like balmy blue. We're just adding color to some of these black lines, basically the outline of things. I found on the jar though that I didn't want to go too much, and I'm doing it on the shading lines of the jar as well. And that's it for that. I think, where's my rich? Cherry cobbler, flamingo, rich razzleberry. So I'm really just going around the outlines. I wanted bow. Trying to stick to the outlines. You'll see why shortly. And it really is, like, I don't know if you can see this. I'll bring it up closer. But like where I got off the lines there, I really didn't want to do that. I really want to be as close on the lines as I can. I've decided from playing with this a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, you can see it there. Which sometimes makes it hard to know if you've actually done a particular line, but that's okay. We're just adding a little bit of pigment to each of these lines. Again, if you've just joined me, please say hello so I know you're here. I am doing this technique that I saw somebody post on Facebook. I'm trying desperately to find out who it was. I was so excited to see it. I just ran and made it. And then, of course, you lose things on Facebook, right? I usually try to save so that I know where I've gotten stuff from. But I messed that one up this time. But I will go back and try to track it down to give credit. But really, we're stamping in StazOn Jet Black on a line art image, and then going over the outlines with watercolor pencil. And you'll see why we absolutely positively have to use the StazOn for this, because of the next step of the technique. Okay, so now I'm doing different flowers, and I've switched from Rich Razzleberry to Melon Mambo. And it's very fun not to actually be worried about coloring the whole image, just going around the outline. And okay. This one's pumpkin pie. I'm gonna go around this one. And this one. And I'm gonna go ahead and do these stems in Old Olive. And these I'm actually just going right down. I'm not trying to get the edges on these. I'm just putting some color in each one. And then we'll use some Granny Apple Green to do these leaves. So, North American friends, are you getting ready for your quiet Thanksgiving? And I think we'll go back to some more Old Olive. Open that up a little bit. To do these guys. Ugh. And there's one over here. Okay, I think I have everything colored. So I'm going to set this aside for right now. And I've got a lid for one of my storage bins just to protect my work surface. And then this is just a regular old spray bottle. You can use the Stampin' Up! Spritzers if you want. I like using this one. It used to have eyeglass cleaner in it, and I've rinsed it out really well. So now we're just going to spray it with water. A reasonable amount. And we're going to let it... Can you see how the colors are blooming? I'm going to lift it up for you a bit. So that hopefully you can see it. I have to wait and see. There's the delay on my end, so I can see where you guys can see it. But you can see that it blooms. Isn't that fun? That color blooms a little bit. So I'm going to set this aside and we're going to work on another one. And we will see, let it bloom a little bit, let it dry a little bit on its own, and then I'll bring in the heat tool if that seems to be appropriate. So for this one, I'm using Free as a Bird, which doesn't get a lot of love right now because it's not new and shiny, but it's a great image. So I've got my Stamparatus set up, and because I'm only going to stamp the one time, I managed to get both the sentiment and the image on one thing. I'm not going to bother with the magnets and hope that that works out okay. But, well, yeah. Let's not be reckless, huh? We'll do one. See if that's a good place for it. Yep. Let's get this as straight as we can. It's not going to matter in the end because I'm going to cut it out with a die. I actually have planned stuff today. Isn't that a nice change? Oh, strong magnet. Okay, here we go. Stays on ink. Yeah, we've got one friend coming for Thanksgiving, and we're doing ours Friday night here, since Thursday is a regular work day for Glenn, and therefore for me as well. So we'll do ours Friday night, which will be about the same time as we would normally do it Thursday in the States, so that works well. And like I said, we've got one friend coming there. I did it twice, and it came out nicely. And figure out my colors again. We'll do that, that, that. Okay, let's start off with that. So I like the idea of bluebirds of happiness. And here we go. So this afternoon, after I do everything I need to finish up this video, I will make my pie crust and cranberry sauce. And then tomorrow is pie making day, and we'll see how my day goes. I may pre-chop like the aromatics for the stuffing, things like that. We'll just see. Okay, so those are the flowers. What do I want to do? How dark? I think this one for the branch. I'm going to do 1 and 2 colors for the branch. And some leaves. What color should we do the leaves? Oh, and I found some more flowers. Do some old olive for the leaves again. Here we go. Oh, more leaves. And let's see what happens if we just do a little bit, just do a little yellow there, just to give that a little something. Okay, let's see how this one goes. Oh yeah. So we're gonna let that one set and do its thing. And this one, can you see how that's bloomed? Grab a little bit of paper towel, and where there's a lot of water, just kind of wick it up. Actually, maybe we'll try that. Yeah. Okay, set that one aside. Now I'm going to bring in my heat tool. So it'll get a little bit noisy. Yeah, you know, pre-made dinners, no shame in that. I love Thanksgiving. I love the flavors. It has to taste right to me, so I like to make it all. Yeah, there's nothing particularly difficult about any of the dishes, but there's some that I just don't ever make except really at Thanksgiving, like stuffing. So if I'm gonna make it, it's gonna be really good. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up and hopefully you can see it. So you can see where I did the ones that weren't right on the black line. You can still see it. You see them more, which is fine. And it's kind of nice to have the variation. And the ones that I did right on the black lines, the color just sort of diffuses from it and you don't see the sharp line. But I'm really pleased with how this turned out. It's still a little bit damp, but it's dry enough to work with. So I'm going to go cut this out with a die and I will be right back. I just couldn't get everything right over there by the camera today. So here we go. I'm using the largest of the scallop rectangles from Stitched So Sweetly. I don't know if you can hear me from over there. But all of this will be on my blog post. There we go. How cute is that? So that's the same image, same technique, but slightly different colors used on the images. And I didn't put the stems on this one, but I like it with the stems. I wish I had on this one, but that's fine. So I'm trying to decide whether I should mount it up the same with the same background or do something different. But let me start with a piece of basic black and get that cut for background there. I think that's the right size. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so there's that. You see the difference adding that ombre background makes to just on the plane? So I'm trying to figure it out here. Just looking at some different options. Maybe we'll do this one that has the pattern. So I planned it out to a certain extent, right? What do we think? Yeah, I can work with that. Should we do a birthday sentiment again? Let's do this one because it's right here and a nice one. This one says, "Your friendship means the world to me," which is true. So this is Versamark ink on basic black that I treated with my anti-static bag or embossing buddy. If you're watching and you're in Australia and you don't have one of these embossing buddies that Stampin' Up! Stopped carrying or anti-static bag, I have sourced them from somewhere else and I'm selling them at cost, so just let me know if you need one. I will be right back. I'm going to do some powder on here and then I'll heat set it right here. Get my container open. Okay, bring my heat tool back in. This just, that clear ink that I used is very sticky, and I just poured this white powder on it, and as I heat it, it melts and becomes glossy and hard and shiny. Well, so glossy and shiny. I just use my paper snips to hold it in place so it doesn't blow away and I don't burn my fingers. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just gonna let it cool for a moment so it's not sticky. And then I'm gonna cut it out. This has become one of the big trends in sentiments, is this snipped out. So I could do it just roughly like that, but it's this combination of script and block has started this trend of doing this curvy cut stuff, which I'm not great at, but the more I practice, the better I get. So I just go slowly. And the key to cutting is having really sharp, fine pointed scissors and moving the paper. See, I'm not really moving my snips at all. And I think I snipped that a little too close, but we're just going to go with it. see, then I go in and clean up anything that needs it. Sorry, I'm concentrating. When I concentrate, I can't chatter. Okay, there's a little bit more I wanted to do right there. Ribbon. I think we're going to do the same thing on here. This is retired ribbon. Hi Karen, thanks for joining me and thanks for sharing. But you know, lots of people have retired stuff in their stash. And it's just perfect with this, so I'm using it. This is my now I see this. I think we may have just changed what we're doing. What do you think? I think so. Looking for the right base. What do you think? Yeah, I like the pink side better too, but the question is which base? I think maybe that. Sorry, just doing a little more trimming here. And get this one to the right size. So, how about a Noah update? He is currently sleeping on the floor next to me. He has been sleeping through the night, the last several nights. Which has been a very good thing indeed. Okay, that didn't quite work. Let's get that trimmed a little bit more again. Okay, something's off here. What is it? It's this piece. Let's try it again. 14.4. 10. Like I said, I can't concentrate and talk. So, there we go. There's that one. There's that one. Okay. And what did I do with my image piece? There we go. And I think maybe on this one we're going to skip the ribbon. And we'll pop that up there. Yep, I'm liking that. Yes, he's in the room, and if I remember before we go off the air, I'll try to move the camera around so you can see him, but he's growing. He's been walking around the block with us, whereas before we had trouble getting him to go, you know, down the block and back. He still needs a lot of coaxing to get going, but once he gets on a roll, especially on the way home, he can keep up the pace, which is good. He just sort of needs to get over his fear of it. Oh yeah, that is much better. The other one isn't bad. I like it on the other card, but for this one, because of the colors I used on the flowers, I'm liking this better. So, yeah. I think we'll do that with dimensionals. And I'm using my black dimensionals today with the black cardstock. Not that people will be able to see them, but just even from the side, then it won't kind of glare. And we even have them in the minis too. In fact, the black ones come with both sizes in one package. So if we're going to have it on, should we just have it on? I think so. Okay, and now the perennial question, to bling or not to bling? I think we are blinging. Oh, I've got my head in there, sorry. Okay, there's that one. Okay, let's see what we have going with this. Okay, so the yellow over here did like nothing. We've got an interesting kind of tea-stained effect. And we'll dry that up a little bit. Okay, and again, I'm going to just run over and cut that out, and I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. This one I actually did some planning on. And I've got this ready to go. What do you think? Does it need a black mat under this one? I'm hearing nothing. I'm just going to keep it as is then. Yeah? Or some black. What to do, what to do. Ooh, I like the black. Okay. Cut this down a little bit more. Isn't that cool how I can just cover that up? Ha 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 ha. See, look at that. That it does not appeal to me. And now I'll probably find something great to do with it, but really not my thing. Much rather use these ombre sides. See, you'd never even know that hole was there. How's that for frugal? What are you stuck on? Okay. This is something else that's Stampin' Up! Discontinued carrying. This is an adhesive eraser. And if you would like one of these, I also have a stash of these that I'm selling at cost because they are so useful. Not quite sure when I allowed that to happen. This is the other thing that this is good for, is getting rid of the sticky. Okay, so now I'm going to do a double pop on this. We might. Oh my goodness, I can't get my hands on the thing that I really want. Double pop. See how these look. These are blue gems. used a lot of the really iridescent ones, but not these. Those will be perfect on there. How's that? What do you think? I see. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's a fun technique. And it's a subtle coloring, but it's there, and it's, you know, how quick and easy was that? Yeah. So, what news do I have for you guys? If you are in Australia and you are not working with the demonstrator already, I would love to work with you. I have the new mini catalog and celebration brochure that I'd be happy to send to you. I'm putting my order in at the end of this week. So please drop me a line if you need one of these and you don't already have a demonstrator here in Australia. There's all kinds of great stuff. I've been holding off on doing much with this since on stage at home because we've got a good 6 months to work with it coming up. And I've been focused on doing all of my holiday stuff and using some of the annual catalog items, which are fantastic. And but I would love to send those out to you if you need them. That's really what I know. And I will be back here same time, same place next week. It will be December. How exciting is that? And I will see you then. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.